Hey team, Eddie Gray here. Have you ever lost a file? Perhaps a music project or just a sample or a loop that was a third party file. Maybe you changed hard drives and you can no longer find it and it's driving you absolutely mad. Okay, let me help you out. All right. So let's start with samples and then we will go from there. So you might see something like this. Does this look familiar? Have you seen this before? Okay, so let me explain what's happening. All of these files are being referenced depending on how you record them and when you record them, what drives you have installed. This influences it. So you can see that this file specifically was not found in its expected location. If I go all the way to the right, you can see this is where it should be. This is where it imprinted the data that the song was originally found in. Now let's read the verbiage here. You can now locate that file manually if you know where it is. Sometimes you have duplicates across various sessions. And then you can also let Logic search on all the mounted volumes. Skip only this file or also skip all files that may not be found. So sometimes you may not care. So I want to explain to you what's happening when we get into Logic here. But it says here, keep in mind that skipped files will be missing in your project, but you can locate them manually. So I think the best way to do this is just to hit search and then Logic will try and find it for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So remember that this specific file is called lead guitar sample. So let me go ahead and search, and then you will see that it found various locations. Now I back up 2-3 times, and so this is how this works. Now here's the problem. Sometimes it will reference another file that it thinks is the right file and it's not. So you'll open up your session and you'll have this random file that's not supposed to be a guitar and it's like a harp or something. And obviously that can be frustrating. So I know this is the right file because this is the same song and hence it's going to line up. And so I'll hit OK. And then it's asking for another file. I'll just hit OK. All right, let's keep doing that. And then at some point, we'll get to the Logic screen. You can see that all of my assets are here. All right, everything's been recorded. Now, how is this even dictated? Well, if I hit Option P and I go into the project settings, under recording, you can see that there's a recording path. Now, by default, if you do nothing, it will essentially end up in the same file that you create. So under audio files, here are all my files. Now, let's say I get rid of something and then we do this again. Well, then we're going to have a problem. Let's do something obvious like this gunshot file, which if I go back into the session. Oh, and by the way, before I show you the gunshot file, you can set your recording path on an external drive or, this can be separate from your sessions. And what's the benefit of that? Well, for some people, it helps with their CPU usage. To be honest, I don't recommend it. I think you should have everything in-house so you don't run into any more problems. But I just want to give you that option just in case. Now, hold on. Where is the gunshot? Somewhere in the beginning. Let's see. I believe it's... I may have to hear this. It's been a while since I produced this track. Let me just hear a little bit. One sec. It's right here under gunshot 2. So here, check this out. Let's go back into this file. I'm going to erase this, okay, and look at what happens. So as of now, everything's all good. But as soon as I get out of the session and I hit save, okay, notice that I didn't delete the reference file in the tracks area. Okay, if you hit don't save, obviously it's not going to save that move. So now gunshot is not here, but it's literally in the trash, right? Okay, so when I go back to open this, look at what happens. It's going to go through its usual scan. It's going through its usual process. And then at some point, it's going to realize, hey, I do not have that file. And let me go ahead and drag that from my second screen right there. Now, again, you can search another session, perhaps a folder where you have it in a sample, external drive or something like that. Now I have it. I have secondary files of this. But if you don't and you deleted it by mistake or you moved it by mistake, then you will be in trouble. So the fastest way is to search automatically. You can also do it manually, okay? Or of course you can skip if the files don't matter. Now let me do one more thing. I'm going to skip here so you can see that the file will then be missing inside of the tracks area, which you should be looking at now. All right, so look, I'm going to go ahead and highlight. Look, nothing's there because, again, it's being referenced. If I hit the key command F and I go into the project audio browser and I highlight, let's say, track number 31, these three regions, okay, you can see that these are being referenced here, right? Every time I click, you can see that they're highlighted inside of the project audio bin. So the files on the right are the master files, and then these are kind of the referenced files. So they're not really here in a way. So if I click on this one, you can see that, hey, the file is no longer here. There's no information, right? No transients. And so this is kind of the idea that I'm alluding to. So if you don't want to see that dialog window anymore, all you have to do is really simple. Go into edit, go into select unused, and then you'll find that these are all the files that are inside the project audio bin, but not currently being referenced or used in the tracks area. So again, if I hit Shift U or I go into edit, select unused, and then I hit delete, all of this is over. Okay, so let me go ahead and get out of here, hit don't save. I'll go back into the audio file, back into the trash, grab the necessary file, which is here, drag it back home, welcome home. All right, and then, like I said, we turn on this one more time. Logic will know what to do. Everything's back in order. The hierarchy, the folder structure is back in place, and hence we can move forward. So that's what you want to do when you have a sample that's been lost, or you changed hard drives, or you changed computers. This is how it works, okay? So again, let me go back to the tracks area so you can see this. See, all is well because the folder is just, or the file is just being referenced. Okay, so that's simple enough. Now, what if we are working on a file, and we thought we saved it on a certain drive, and it turns out it's just not there. So usually by default, if I go to music and I go to Logic, this is where Logic saves everything by default. I don't like this system. I like having everything kind of out in the open, but I understand if you do. Okay, I've already showed you my organization system. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead. And more content, more videos to come. But essentially, this is where you want to look for this folder. So where is this folder? Okay, so if you go to your hard drive, okay, and you go to users, and you find your name, in my case, it's Chameleon8, and then I go into the music folder, this is where you will find that Logic folder. And let me go ahead and just show you that file path really quick. I want you guys to get organized and be clear, right? So whatever your hard drive name is, users, your name, and then music. So that's where the files should be. Now, here's the issue at hand. Sometimes what happens is you're working on a file, you're busy, you got all this stuff going on, and when you hit in this case I've already saved this, but let me go ahead and create a save as. So when you hit Command S for the very first time, this dialog window pops up, and if you have not taking the time necessary to make sure that the file path is correct, I'm going to go ahead and hit this little arrow menu here. If you have, you look at this and it looks like it's going to the right place, and in most cases it's going to bounces, or you're just making an assumption that the file path is okay. And if you don't hit that small arrow and you make sure, okay, this is literally going where I want it to go, then that's a problem. Okay, let me give you a better example. If I hit Command B, and let's pretend I'm going to bounce my song. And again, I hit OK, and it just says bounces here. I don't know exactly where that file path is located. And so that can be an issue, right? So again, if I don't actually look at the structure, like here, it's letting you know, here's the file structure, right? Users, right? into the desktop. This is where the file is located. So make sure you always check out that. Okay, so that being said, you're stuck, you haven't found your file yet. How do you do it? Well, there's a couple ways. So let's go under the guise that we don't know where this missing file is. Okay, I know we understand that it's here on my desktop, but one of the things you can do is you can hit Command Spacebar. Usually it's up here in the menu bar as well. It's called Spotlight Search, and you can just type in missing file or whatever the name of your song is, and literally it will just show you in seconds flat. Again, if you just either hit Command, you can see the file path down here, or you can hit Command I, get the file path there. But that's kind of probably the easiest way. Another way, if you hit Command T, same feature is here. I'm going to hit missing file. This is a nice way because it just gives you a little bit more information. You get, a little bit more. Like, for example, I can see all of the PDF documents or just the documents. In this case, I know I want a session file. So let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Like I'll say, can you search the hard drive, or can you search, the day or the application, so you can get a little bit more detailed about where this is. So maybe we can say it is, music. And so this is another way of searching for it. I usually don't do it this way. So I just want to throw that out there. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that search result. So we still haven't found it. So maybe I can get some more information. So here inside of this window, I'm going to control click and I'm going to say, hey, can you also give me some more information here? So the kind, the tags, comments, you want to get as close to the date as you can. So I know that I'm looking for a folder, and when I hit kind, you can see that everything organizes to fit my specific requirements, and then here's my file here. So that's another way. Okay, probably the last resort would be to go into Logic, and once it opens up on the top left, you want to go into File, Open Recent, and you'll get some files that you've been using last couple days or last couple sessions. And other than that, I don't know what else that you can do in order to locate your sessions. This is why it's important to back up. Let me show you my backup system really quick. So when I open any session, you can see I have two backup folders. Okay, these backup folders are from two separate hard drives that are connected, one of them being the desktop drive and the other being my sample drive. And so what ends up happening is I have two backups just in case I drop the ball, just in case something happens. So I want you to develop a tighter backup system to help you. Okay, and then I guess just one last piece of information. Let's say you do have the file, but you can't open it for whatever reason. In that case, if you hit spacebar and you look at this window, there is a load a backup feature. Now, if you're steady about your backups and saving project alternatives and such, and this is going to be a lifesaver for you. So make sure that you stick to the protocol. And I hope you found this video to be useful. My only aim is to always contribute and always make sure you feel supported. So thank you very much for your support. And I'm wishing you the best day and the best week and the best month ever. Stay up, stay happy. I'll see you in the next video.